What's up, guys? So today I'm going to show you how to remove the fuel inlet on a CV40 carburetor. Now these are notorious for cracking and leaking or even completely breaking off. So from the factory, this fuel inlet was plastic, and when it breaks, it leaves you with a situation like this. Now they do make a specialty tool that you can drill and tap this and pretty much presses this out of the bore of the carburetor. I have found that it's not really necessary to buy that because with this method, you can very easily remove it. Some things to keep in mind: Harley Davidson does not sell the part to replace this, so you're going to have to go with the aftermarket fuel inlet. Drag Specialty does make one. There's a part number here for it. They also make them in 5/16 for high flow, which is what I recommend installing in the carburetor if you're doing this job. If you do install the high fuel inlet valve, you are going to have to put 5/16 fuel line. So the only tools you're going to need for this job is some MAP gas. I like MAP gas over propane because it gets it hotter faster. And then a pair of vice grips. Now you can use needle nose vice grips. Even a pair of channel locks would probably work, but I found that these work the best. So what you're going to want to do prior to this, if it's just leaking, if you noticed I put a black line here because that is the angle of the fuel inlet valve. So when you go to reinstall this, you have to install it at this angle. So if it's still on there and not broke off completely, just mark it with a permanent marker, and then you'll have your desired angle of the fitting when you go to install it back into the carburetor. So first things first, you're going to want to heat it up. And just heating the outer body is enough. If you're using rags and a vise, be careful, they could catch on fire. Ask me how I know. So I like to just heat around the body of it here. And for about a minute, you don't have to get it super hot. Just allows it to be removed easier. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. You don't want to burn your eyeballs out. So after it's nice and smoking, you know it's pretty hot. You're going to want to take your vice grips and get them pretty tight as far as clamping goes. Just like that, and then just give it some turns. And while you're turning it back and forth, apply upwards pressure because it's in the bore of the carburetor pretty far. Just keep working it. It will eventually come out of there, I promise. At this point, you could apply a little bit of penetrant to it if needed. Again, you want to be delicate with this stuff. It is aluminum, and it is a carburetor, and it's an older carburetor, so it's hard to come by these things. So slow and steady wins the race here. No need to rush this. And there it is. It's in there about 5/8 of an inch. So once you remove it, obviously it's hot, so you want to discard of it in a safe area. And then the new Drag Specialty one here. I'm not going to install this on here because I'm going to be installing a high flow valve that I haven't received yet. But just to show you guys for demonstrations purposes, there's going to be two different ends. The one with the barb is obviously for the fuel line, and then the one that's straight is going to be the one that goes back into the carburetor body. I recommend putting a little bit of grease around there. And again, if you have a reference line, that reference line is where the barb is going to line up. So you don't want it like that. You don't want it like that. It's pretty much like a 45-degree angle is the ideal angle. And then just setting it. Sorry guys, my heater turned on again. Spraying it out, obviously, of any little brass fittings. Getting your correct angle, and then just giving it some light taps. And then tapping it all the way into the bore of the carburetor. So that's how you replace the fuel inlet valve on a CV40 carburetor, upgrading it to the drag specialty fuel inlet that will never break, it will never leak. Once you do this, it's a done deal. As always, guys, please like, subscribe, click the little notification bell, and you'll get updated when I post videos. Thanks.